Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? So, my name's Tammy, for those of you who are new to me, and if you're not, hey, welcome back. Um, so, have been looking to talk to people about um, their objections to the use of oils, what bothers them about natural remedies. So, I've been kind of posing these questions and really getting very few responses. So, I started thinking about it a little bit, and because I wanted to show up to this anyway, even if nobody really, because I don't think we really understand that we do have objections to um, natural health approaches. I mean, I can see it when you talk. I mean, I can only imagine the number of eyes that roll when someone starts talking about the next big product, what it can do for the person sitting in front of them. When we talk about oils and how oils can make a difference, and you've got the medical world scoffing at oils, even though we say we like them, even though we say we're drawn to them, we have there's a division. So I can understand this, and so there's a couple of complaints that I have about. I don't want to say complaints, insights. There's a couple of insights that I have around natural remedies, medical care, what this has actually cultivated in us, because this is a system. All right. And even if you're in a holistic or involved with natural health and alternative health, it's still part of the system. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I really wanted to kind of hone in on it today because there's a mechanism of control. And it begins with the suggestion that the body is dysfunctional, experiencing genetic mutations, with all these genetic tests that we have. I mean, we call them defects, we call them mutations. This is deliberate languaging, and it creates this mindset that there's something actually wrong with the body. And so I made a couple of notes today, but I really just wanted to address the system, because what happens when you invest your energy in the system? So what I have here is that the current health model, and mind you, when I say current health model, it's as I said, it's both natural and allopathic. It's the whole medical mindset, and it disempowers our abilities. It leads us to second guess. It uses fear to corral us into a way of thinking and operating, which leads to setbacks, additional issues, and frustration and disappointment. The overwhelming confusion becomes so much that it keeps us on the variable hamster wheel. So we become dependent upon a system. It's not unlike when we put all of our eggs out there. Okay, I just was going to be careful about how I say this, because I don't want to lose people's attention and have people click off because all of a sudden they're triggered or offended by what I'm saying. So I'm trying to be very careful. So it's like if we put everything out there, like I said, the medical model actually disempowers us in the sense that we put all of we value what they have to say over what this has to say. Okay. And to me, the basis of all wellness, whether it's in your mind, in your body, or even in your business, it's about integrity. And integrity is the way we think, we speak, and we act. When all of those are in alignment, you now have integrity. So this is not a character judgment. This is simply just becoming aware of where we might be out of alignment with our authentic self. And when we get that way, when we feel disempowered because somebody's telling us we don't know what we're talking about, or how could we possibly know what our body needs, it fucks with us. Okay, it messes with us. Some people get all up in your face. Okay, but at the same time, that aggressive nature is a sign that you have been offended. People may find it admirable that people will stand up for themselves. I think standing up for ourselves can look a little bit different. At the same time, it's learning how to be in alignment. And so I think the biggest objection that we really, really have is because there's a lot of resistance. And like I said, there's a lot of disappointment and overwhelm. The resistance is we're not really listening to our inner self. you know, when somebody comes to you and says, hey, try this, and you feel this, you know, as a wellness trainer, I would ask you, if you came to me and you said, well, I tried, they said this and I felt this way, but I did it anyway, and this is now my result, I would kind of go back to, well, what was it made, what did you say yes for then? You know, what was that? And beginning to explore what that resistance is, just to get you in touch with not honoring that. What was it within you that you just didn't honor that you did? Because, and I mean, I've seen it all over the place. You know, you go into a medical office, and I've had nurse practitioners get really in my face, physician's assistant, you know, they challenge me, because who am I? How would I know? I don't have, I mean, I've had them literally like wave the banner of education in front of me. I went so far as one point to tell the doctor, a doctor, that, you know, he didn't know what it was like to live. This is my body, and he can come at me with all these different things and all of these hypothetical, you know, thoughts. But the bottom line is, this is my body. You don't know what it's like to live in my body. And we've really we really have been disempowered as a culture when it comes to our health. And I'm a stand that people have the wellness and the health, that live the healthiest life they, you know, yet. That's my stand. I want you to live the healthiest life yet. And the only way to get there is to become interdependent with the system, not relying on the system. I mean, it's kind of like the government, right? You know, the government keeps giving handouts, and people who are disempowered. And it's not that it's bad or wrong, it's just their choice. But at the same time, they become dependent on the system to take care of them. And when the system crashes to the degree that it did this year, where we had, you know, hospitals and medical clinics overwhelmed, and the government, I mean, and everything was shutting down, how many people were resilient enough to actually bounce back and or keep going? There was a lot of people, but all they kept portraying on the television were the numbers. This was the unemployment. This is, you know, these are the lines of cars of people that don't have food. We kept getting that information, and it's time for us to just look at that with objective eyes and go, well, that's really horrible. And how can I be part of the solution? Not like you have to run out there and give the shirt off your back, but how can we become more resilient so that we can actually provide more and become leaders in the sense of showing other people what's possible. They may not buy into it. They may not want to get onto the, you know, we can create our own bandwagon is what I'm getting at. Like I said, I'm a stand that people actually have the healthiest life yet, mentally, emotionally, physically. And so when I pose those questions for revolutionary aromatherapy, it's because I do want to have a talk about it. It does involve essential oils. For those of you that don't know me, I have over 30 years in the industry, and have done extensive investigation into plant constituents and the way they influence the constituents, not the oils, I mean the oils, but there's more information on the constituents and the way they impact the field of drug development, pharmacology, as well as the way they influence human and genetic activity. And so what I do as a wellness trainer, yes, we get in oils involved because it's part of the nature. We are part of nature, and so they actually supplement our nature. They keep us connected. I mean, we are connected to nature, chemically connected to nature. Even though there appears to be a division, we are chemically connected. And that's the stress system. The stress system actually connects us to all these plants. Want to learn about that or read about that? Go check out my blog, Natural Hormonal Changes Affecting Our Kids. I'll put the link in the description box, but please check out that, because I talk about the stress system and the chemistry of the stress system, and that stress system can be found for the most part chemically throughout nature. And so that is my specialty, but at the same time, just telling you something is not helping you. You already have, I mean, you may not have that kind of information, which I can certainly provide you. But if you don't know how to implement it for yourself and co-create it with me, and allow a trainer to actually help you co-create and break free from the mindset that keeps you from, um, I'm trying to, I like to use different words than the cliches that are being tossed around right now. Um, I would like to, what I do is help break that mindset so that people can actually begin to see the opportunities in front of them, begin to identify opportunities. And I'll give you an example. So I was talking with somebody this morning, and he was very down and out about life. He's frustrated. Things never seem to work out. Although at the same time, he says he's open to good things happening. Sounds great, right? Those are his words. Yet when something does good come his way, he deflects immediately within, with the self. He did some self. He started putting himself down, and I called him on it. And he says, "Well, I wasn't saying anything negative because that's his norm. That's what he normally thinks and feels, and that's just his normal reaction, right? It's an automatic reaction." So, but I still called. I said that was an absolute deflection, and it landed as negative with me. It was a negative statement, and you weren't even receiving what I was, giving you. And it was just, even though it was verbal, he wasn't willing to receive it. He deflected with some sort of derogatory comment about himself, kind of half-assing it with some pleasantries in there, like some sort of upbeat something. But it was a total deflection. So we started exploring it because, like I said, he's got all of this disappointment and frustration, and understandably, I mean, life. And I said to him, I said, but when life isn't happening the way you want it to work out, that's your opportunity to actually look at. So you keep saying you're open to opportunities, but you're not. You've got so many blinders on and conditions to what it's supposed to look like that maybe the breakdown is the opportunity you need to redirect, to shift, right? And so when we get into natural remedies, or we get into healthcare, and we don't get the results we're looking for, and as I said earlier, as I said earlier, if there's a resistance, but you don't honor the resistance and you still get into it, there's some coaching to be had around that. Well, what was the resistance? Let's explore that a little bit. Okay, so what was the breakdown? What is that actually showing you? Maybe it's showing you that you should have listened to yourself. Maybe it's actually giving you something different. See, here in my world, in the wellness training world, there's no right or wrong. It's just operating from your instinct, honoring your instinct, and learning from your instinct. That's the only way we're going to break free from this mindset that is currently being cultivated through the medical model, especially. But we're seeing it even in the supplement industry. It doesn't make any damn difference if you're taking pills, medications or not. We've all taken a prescription pill. We know what that little piece of paper tells us to do. So we become dependent on what they're telling us, because they've told us that our body is weak and defective and dysfunctional and mutated. And so when we have this sensation that that's not for me, okay, because I mean, let's face it, if you walk up to somebody you've never met before, you haven't even exchanged words at this point, how many of you have actually had the experience like, I'm not so sure I want to get near that person? At least once. That is your inner compass going, that's not really where you want to go. You may have had it with an experience or a location instead of a person, but you've had that experience of something inside of you going, don't go there. Now, if you went, whatever you got out of it is awesome. But my point is that we're not allowed to have this in the medical arena. And so my goal is to build that muscle of authenticity so that when you do require a medical, or you require assistance from a medical professional, whether they be natural or allopathic, that you're able to stand your ground. You are resilient to them telling you what to do. Taking their suggestions, they may give you information, like I can give you information about oils, right? They may give you information that's usable and give you information that things that you weren't aware of. But ultimately, how you're supposed to do things and what your body requires is going to come down to you. It's just astonishing to me how brainwashed we've become because we've put people in a position of authority. We've allowed their authority just because they went to school and studied something, and we've disempowered the authority that we are for our own well-being. And so the whole concept of revolutionary aromatherapy is to help the chemistry of our system provide stability to the stress system, incorporating them into our daily, into our lifestyle. I was watching a video earlier of Michelle Pfeiffer when she was getting ready to launch her perfume line and how it came into development. And she was seeking chemicals that weren't hazardous. And it just made me realize that this is what people are actually seeking. And we can actually begin to do this with oils. But learning about the chemistry, number one, is crucial, because you just don't need to be using a lot. I mean, in fact, I'm getting ready to write a blog here shortly on how using oils on the same oils all the time is actually stressing the system. These are the things that are very important when it comes to using them. But at the same time, as you're getting into this and becoming more accustomed to honoring your system's needs, we continue, the development of expanding that mindset, realigning with your, who you are and what your system actually needs, and accepting the knowledge, receive the knowledge that's coming into you, but don't discount this. You have to be willing to receive this knowledge too, this wisdom. I don't know if that makes any sense. So the way I see it, although we're not aware of the objections we have to natural approaches and or oils, it really comes down to the degree of frustration and disappointment that occurs. We really don't want to be told what to do, although we seem to ask for it. I think that's another part of it. We go out and we ask for help. We ask people to tell us what to do, but the bottom line is there's a part of us that doesn't want to be told what to do. And I learned this firsthand. I actually am very tired of telling people what to do. I've been working with the Amish for 7 years now. And one of the things that they've come to count on me for is information and telling them what to do. And if they can't, if something's, but they're not coachable. They just want me to tell them what to do. And quite frankly, I don't need to be needed like that. I want to support people. I want to train people to think for themselves. I want to empower people to build that muscle of authenticity and begin to actually step into what is right for them. And that's really what this is about. And realizing that I don't think that that's serving people truthfully, telling them what they need to do. Giving you knowledge and co-creating a plan around that, giving you knowledge and helping you discern what's right for you, that is really what is necessary when it comes to, like in this case, with the oils. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go get onto my blog, and I hope you guys are well. But yeah, before I forget. So it's really, I just want to complete this by saying it's really about becoming independent of the system, okay? Not hoping the system's going to save us, basing our decisions on the hope that this is going to save us. It's becoming independent of the system and then having an interdependent relationship when necessary. The other thing about this model is that it actually seeks to control us. It seeks to it's designed to control the body. It's designed to control health, and nature cannot be controlled. Nature is energy. And so by working with oils, you begin to learn how it's not about control. It's an organic process. And when you have a trainer on your side with this, you have the ability to go through, let's just say you've selected oils, or you're using oils for, and then you come back to me and you're like, see, I told you I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, you actually do. Your body's doing this because, and so we can kind of look at what your body's doing and begin to coach you around that and being easy with that, because the whole point to restoring health is dismantling the disease. Okay, disease is lack of ease. So restoring health is restoring ease. And so becoming easy about the way the body is resetting itself is really what this is about. And that takes a more expansive mindset, not this narrow, you know, it's about seeing that as an opportunity to be easy. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to schedule my next revolutionary aromatherapy program next Saturday, oh my gosh, it's the 12th. But yeah, we'll do that, and I will come up with the topic here, and I look forward to seeing you there. Oh, but by the way, if you haven't already registered, on Monday the 7th, I've got a blending class going on. We're going to talk about how and why to blend essential oils. All right, you guys take care. I will see you soon.